Hi everybody, welcome to Hear Us Out. I'm Paul.
And I'm Patrick.
And tonight we're going to be talking about the Spider-Man Far From Home spoiler review.
Yeah. If you don't want any spoilers for the film or anything in the post-credit scenes, get out of here now.
Because there's some serious spoilers about to come up.
And don't forget, we do videos every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. GMT time.
Yeah, so check out the channel, hit our little video area. There's loads more goodness. Spider-Man Far From Home. Spider-Man 2 for the third time, technically.
Yeah,
when you think about it,
I was just like, where's the... Because there's this... And I knew the amazing...
And I just want to give Marvel some credit for not using any numbering, because what a mistake it was the first time around to have Spider-Man and then Spider-Man 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Where do you go? You end up making 8 films, you have Spider-Man 8. It's not a good look. But the Far From... the Homecoming and Far From Home, the home idea... This really is Far From Home. This is a world tour of a film, which works nicely, actually, because I was worried about that.
Oh, yeah?
Well, when we saw the trailer, I was like, I hope this just isn't going to be, let's destroy the local landmark.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I get your point there very much. Which is, I get it, because it's a nice kind of like reasoning why they're going around the place, and it isn't kind of like just destroy these famous European landmarks. It's more...
It's a nice little road trip, and you know what? Because we have spoilers, we can talk freely. Hopefully, you've seen the movie, or maybe you just want to know before seeing it. The road trip aspect, this idea that Peter is now going off on a trip with his class, lends itself nicely to comedy, but also sets itself nicely up for the core story. And that core story for me was Peter finding a way to live in the aftermath of Endgame. Feeling a little bit of pressure that he's now going to have to be a superhero, maybe replace Tony Stark. And all he wants to do is be a kid.
Yeah, like it's nice to see that kind of storyline to come back into the Marvel Universe, as in we've seen a lot of heroes kind of take on the mantle of a superhero like quite well, as in it comes naturally to them. With Peter Parker, it's kind of like confliction to like, I want to just be a normal kid, to which just I should use these powers for good, which is what he says in the Civil War kind of movie. But it was nice to see that they were going down that road, and they really hit nice tones towards it. Yeah. Not so much that they hit the kind of already traditional kind of like, I'm a reluctant hero.
Well, they cleverly have not said with great power comes great responsibility. But in all of the storytelling and the writing, they have implied that he understands with great power comes great responsibility. And I think that, to their credit, that is lovely and it's wonderful. And it really is. When this film started, it starts with, what they're calling it, the blip now, after the snap.
Yeah.
So there was the snap and people disappeared. 5 years later, they're back and they're referring to it as the blip. They use that for great comedic effect, I think.
Yeah, very much.
In that opening scene of the school newscasters.
Yeah, they make a return, which is great.
Yeah, it's set the tone nicely, but I think it's such a adorable film at that point. They start you off with an air of small and lightness, so there's a certain amount of levity, which coming out of the back end of Endgame, which ends pretty much on a funeral, was really, really nice.
Yeah, like the other kind of useful moments of the news broadcasters from the high school is it fills you in on what the day-to-day life which come back to normality. Like they explain that any kid who did get snapped and came back with the blip, they're the same age, whereas class members who didn't are now 5 years older, and it's a bit weird kind of thing, and everybody's trying to kind of readjust. They also talk about how the Avengers might not be a thing anymore, and that kind of play off. Yeah,
they cover a lot of ground pretty quickly, actually, and it really does zip along. So that, and assuming you've seen the movie, I think everybody, at least at the showing we went to, kind of came out with that feeling of that movie kept going. It had a nice, not light and airy, but it had an enthusiastic kind of way about it, and that's what you need from the junior hero. That's what you need from Peter Parker. He is your adolescent superhero. So there is a certain amount of youthful vigor and energy to it, which is great.
Yeah, like the pacing is really, really good. It's really quick and snappy, like feels kind of, as you said, lighthearted kind of thing. And then there's a moment where the pacing changes a little bit kind of to it, but it's not like it's a noticeable pace change, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing. So that's good as well.
And for me, I think we got to move on to the main event. And the main event is not any of the action scenes. It's the introduction, which happens really early on, brilliantly at the start, of Jake Gyllenhaal as Quentin Beck, Mysterio. Even the application of the name Mysterio to him was quite fun, because it's like, oh, it's what me and my friends call you.
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal played it perfectly. The knowing kind of nods, the wry glances, the cheeky smiles, that kind of, oh, you know, I'm on your side, kid. I'm this hero from another dimension. Multiverse isn't happening, everybody. Or is it? No, it's not. Yet. Or is it? No,
yeah, we're very kind of up and down on that part.
But he came in and really grabbed the little bit of screen time that he had. In the first act, he didn't have huge amounts of screen time, but he hit it with such great presence, because the writing was there, but his performance was on point. By the time you get to him in the second and third act, you want to see more of him. Yeah,
like he plays kind of Mysterio, like as the hero part kind of thing. If anyone knows Mysterio, obviously he's one of Spider-Man's bad guys, but he plays off like the friendly hero, like, you know, a possible mentor kind of character so well that I was just like, I was secretly going, I actually kind of hope that he's not.
Yeah, hopefully they'll do a Skrulls on this and twist it on its head and maybe keep him the hero for a few films. You could tell they weren't going to too soon for me, because I, like the same as you, I was feeling, God, you know what, I'd really like him to be, I wouldn't mind him as an Avenger right now. But you started seeing, they're definitely not. And they weren't even doing cracks in him. It was just the way the story is being told. It's like, there is no way they've cleaned up the bad guy situation by, you know, the first 30 minutes in of a 2-hour film.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that kind of, those kind of tells were definitely there, kind of thing. But I also feel like, you know, there's cracks in his armor in the fact that he gets slightly too nice.
Yeah,
you know, like he's too mentory kind of thing. That you're just like,
he's too perfect.
Which is which I don't know if that's a horrible cynicism that I have, that I'm just like, oh, he is too nice to be anyone else but like.
It's the stranger danger that we've all been taught. It's just coming out in us. Yeah, he just seemed too perfect at all moments. He was such an understanding co-hero. He was such a mentor kind of guy when he needed that moment. So yeah, that was like, this guy's too good to be true. You know, don't get in the van with Mysterio. That's not cool. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, like the other parts with Mysterio, like it because of the villain that he is, the reveal that they have in the film feels so right.
Yeah.
Like
my favorite scene, the reveal.
Yeah, like it's very boisterous and big, kind of like, you know, upstaging and stuff like that. That it's like it's perfect for that character, in the fact that he's all about illusions and trickery and cons kind of things, and it's very, very good with the reveal, because it's just like, oh, that is perfect.
Yeah, and nicely played to his comic roots. You know, the kind of the effects man being, you know, the bad guy. I could watch that scene again. The minute the film ended, if I could go back and watch one scene, it would not have been an action scene. It was him doing the turn and then doing the crazy long toast scene.
Yeah.
Which was simultaneously funny and informative and grounding you in the universe, but keeping you on the train of, this is a fun movie. It's one of those scenes I think we'll all be dissecting when we get a chance to own it on, you know, download it at home or whatever, get it on streaming.
Yeah, like I definitely think so. The thing that it reminded me the most was the when a play has had its first opening show, and obviously the cast all get together and kind of celebrate the opening of their play and stuff. It felt like that,
which is exactly, you know, it was so perfect. It was just pitch perfect, and tone perfect,
and like they have some kind of side characters because he isn't working alone kind of thing, but they put faces on them and kind of, and they do a nice thing, which is they set them in past movies, kind of thing, which is really good, because you kind of go, oh, this is like, I guess, a revenge story for these people.
It's the legacy of Tony Stark, not told in that, well, it's just, this isn't one Baron Zemo angry guy. This is, well, maybe there's a group of disgruntled people who work, obviously are really, really smart, work for a tech genius, an industrialist. They are a bit of a problem if they ever get together. And they did. And all they had to do was find a fearless leader and the great Jake Gyllenhaal Mysterio.
Yeah.
The downsides, though, there are downsides.
Okay.
And I think for me, it's not Jake Gyllenhaal's fault, but some of the downsides for me were the Mysterio fight scenes, particularly the final big fight, London over the Thames at Tower Bridge. Bridge. It felt a little bit discombobulated at times.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree there. It seems like they still have that problem from the first one, which is like the graphics, or not the graphics, but like I guess their set piece is kind of like slightly confusing and in kind of a visual way. And I get that there's certain points to it where they're, because Spider-Man's very acrobatic and, athletic kind of thing, that, gravity from his point of view and seeing him flip around the thing, doing a POV from that is kind of like, it's very difficult for us.
Yeah, and like that worked in Venice. You could follow Spider-Man through windows, and there was a great sequence where he went through a window, jumped back out through a wall. It was all very cool. But when you're trying to capture Tower Bridge from a full rotating 360-degree angle with another target being Mysterio and a sky full of drones, it just felt, this is a challenge you guys didn't quite overcome visually.
Yeah.
Like it all looked fine. It just didn't run or flow fine, I think. It's one of those ones that they'll look back and go, if we could have fixed that, maybe we would have.
Yeah, which I hope they went back in the first one and did the same thing for the hologram, which goes like
the camouflage jet.
Yeah. with which goes Vulture.
Yeah, the only black mark against that first Spider-Man film, Homecoming, for me was that final fight.
Yeah, it's just
other than that, it was perfect.
Very hard to keep track of. But once again, we're here for Far From Home.
Yeah, and we're probably going to have to run into the other thing really quickly before we wrap this video up, of where S.H.I.E.L.D., Nick Fury and Maria Hill fit into all this, because they are the other set of characters. Obviously, there's the kids in the class and there's cute love stories going on, and there's plenty of humour there.
Yeah, I would like to go to those, but let's go to the Nick Fury and Maria Hill.
Nick and Maria Hill are a feature from the start all the way to the finish. And I'm not going to get into the whole post-credit scene right now, but essentially I think the Nick Fury character was wasted a little bit, insofar as it was just, he's this not understanding blunt guy to give Quentin back, to give Mysterio that ability to be the nice one in those scenes and become the mentor. And it just felt a little bit wooden. I don't know. And I'm not blaming Samuel L. Jackson's delivery or anything. It just felt a little bit clunky.
Yeah, no, I agree in that they're trying to, Nick Fury's trying to trying to have Peter Parker step up in the fact that Tony Stark has picked him in some ways as the next kind of Tony Stark. And he seems very like strong-headed in the kind of like, you got to step up. If you're not going to step up, then get the hell away from me kind of thing. And it's just like, it leads to which you were pointing out, a whiny Peter Parker for a bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Which it's offsetting, because that character is generally kind of like awkward and fun. And although trying to see where he fits into the world, he's not as kind of like whiny.
Yeah, he went from I just want to be a kid, this is a lot of pressure, to I just want to have my holiday. And that wasn't a good shift, because once they went back to that well too many times, that's the way it started coming across. So I think it's time to talk about the class.
Yes, I like my only two things with the class that I would like to point out is which is a point I didn't get to, is the Far From Home part, where they do the whole, I just thought of it there kind of thing. It's good that they did the Far From Home thing, because it's like that whole in the first one, he's the neighborhood Spider-Man. Like, he's very much like not only trying to help the neighborhood. And then in Infinity War, it's like you can't have a neighborhood, without the world kind of thing. But this staples it a lot more, that Spider-Man has to become more of an international hero by, bringing him out into the world and seeing the dangers and stuff like that, and showing, and essentially his neighborhood gets a lot bigger, kind of thing, which I thought was a little bit of a nice play. Yeah,
and I think it was a necessary play, because otherwise it would have been the elephant in the room a little bit. So, no, it was, I don't really have a problem with the storytelling per se, or the story they were trying to tell.
No.
Some of the storytelling was a little bit clunky in spots, but, we've already covered. But overall, I found this to be just a really nice, energetic movie. It's not going to change my world. It's not going to rock my world. But after Endgame, it was a great movie to have. I think it did what Ant-Man previously couldn't do.
Yeah.
Followed the big event, and not only that, followed a big depressing event, and kept enough sadness and reverence for what had happened, but still managed to bounce along.
It clears the palate.
In definite palate cleanser. Good way of putting it.
That's what I felt about it. Is it's definitely like it embraces the sadness of the after effects of Endgame, but it brings you forward in kind of like a more kind of brighter, kind of not a more brighter future, but a future that could be brighter.
Yeah,
so you have a little bit of hope there with a kind of jaunty kind of summer vacation.
So at the risk of going super long, I kind of want to really throw it in there quite quickly. We do have 2 big post-credit scenes. So to wrap up our review of the film, it was good.
The kids. Just quickly on the kids. Just they are big parcels. Yeah. MJ is I really liked her. She is a strong love interest character with Peter Parker, which is Ned or Ed. Ned. He's once again a strong character. He's very much moving towards even further into the comedic sidekick moment kind of thing. Flash is even further into that zone kind of thing. The teachers were fantastic.
The teachers were JB Smoove and the guy from the IT crowd, or not IT crowd, Silicon Valley, whose name I've forgotten right now. I'm sorry, because you're really, really good as well. They are pitch perfect.
They are great. The asshole kid,
the new kid.
Yeah, I felt like he was useless.
It felt like a misstep. It did feel like it also felt like a mechanism. It really did feel like a mechanism every time they used him. It's like, this is how we create some peril for Peter Parker's love life. Yeah. It did feel a bit Benny Hill in places, a little bit kind of shoved in there.
Yeah, because I felt like his awkwardness would be enough for the fact that, like,
yes,
it would definitely have been enough to do that part.
And they could have played it in just that little bit easier too. The idea of him, going and taking a picture with Peter's pants down. That all just felt very like, well, it's just a bit like, we're rubbing this one in.
When that comes to a head kind of thing, the way that they diffuse it, I was just like, you could have done that way earlier. Yeah. It's like, why are you, kind of thing.
But start of the show though, you're right. Zendaya did a great job again. And I said this, I think, when we did our trailer review, and it's still my favourite line. It might be one of my favourite lines in all of the MCU, when he says to her in the opera, "You're really pretty," and she just turns and goes, "And therefore I have value."
Yeah.
I think it made me laugh then. It makes me laugh now thinking about it, but it's also brilliantly poignant, and it's everything in a gag, and I just love that gag, and she delivered it so well.
Yeah.
And Tom Holland's a great guy for taking a line. You can see he can work with actors. That's maybe his biggest strength, actually.
Yeah.
Which, being around Robert Downey Jr., I guess you'll learn that as along the way.
He is a good kind of, he's a good takeover of the Robert Downey Jr. kind of mentor. We liked the film.
Yeah, we liked the film.
It was a good film, a spotty in places kind of thing, but once again, it does not in any way ruin the overall experience. Nice like palate cleanser kind of thing. But yeah.
And actually, to be fair, this video has gone spectacularly long, so you can tell that we actually liked it or had more to say about it than maybe even we thought. But that does lead us on to two things. The post-credit scenes, and maybe where we'll rate it. We're now going to have to do our first 3 phases ranking. We probably are going to have to do that video. And I think this film is going to be one of those ones that's going to be hardest to place. And I didn't expect that to be the case. So that's a compliment. That is a compliment. So post-credit scenes, Paul. Hit me first with the reveal that J. Jonah Jameson is now working for the Daily Bugle is like a website, which is kind of funny to me.
Yeah. So if anyone's played the game, in that he's JJ is a website kind of podcasty thing, and in this it's similar thing.
So they changed it in the recent Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
I've got to get that actually.
So they do that in this as well, but it's
brilliant because the minute J.K. Simmons shows up on screen, straight away I was like, brilliant. Everybody wants that. He is everybody's J. Jonah Jameson. It's perfect, and it's a lovely link back to the Raimi films. It was the first thing when it all ended. It was the first thing we leaned over and we're like, oh yeah,
it's so like having Simmons back, kind of like I don't even care if like there's going to be people going like, oh, you can't have. Like, should you have a character that's in one of the past ones? You can.
Do you know what perfect casting is? Perfect casting is perfect casting forever, and he is, if anything, he has just aged more into the role. So it's all perfect. It really is all perfect. I don't think the reveal of Spider-Man to the world, that being Mysterio's kind of one of his contingency plans.
Yeah.
I think the way it's shot, and you can't see Spider-Man's face saying the words, or you can't see the top half.
The edited video kind of thing.
Yeah, they've left enough in there that they'll be able to work their way back out of this. I don't think this is a forever thing. I think they'll make maybe the next film about it, but I don't think it's going to be the long-running problem for him.
Yeah, like I think it's going to be that the people who already were suspicious of Spider-Man are just going to be like, this is why he's a bad guy, and then the people who were on the fence are going to slowly move over to that side, and then evidence is going to come out that's going to move them back, kind of thing. But it's very Mysterio. That's what I did like about it.
Yeah.
Once again, the con kind of thing is very good.
Yeah, it's all illusion. And it's very fake news. Also quite timely, which I don't really want to get into. You know that. No. But what I do want to get into is that 5 minutes and many credits later. The final post-credit scene reveals Nick Fury, Maria Hill were Skrulls for at least a good portion of the film, if not all. Here's the cool thing: the way those two things tie together. How do you prove that Peter Parker isn't Spider-Man? You've Peter Parker walking around. You now have the ability with shapeshifters to do that.
Yeah. To
be fair, you also have the ability to do that with Mysterio's projector technology. So, like, there was a lot of outs before that.
So they've revealed that the Nick Fury and Maria Hill that we've been following are the two Skrulls from Miss Marvel. That was very good. It slightly kind of took away from the fact that Nick Fury was a little bit strong-headed in it.
Yeah.
Didn't take enough.
No.
But it was good.
It helped with the whole, well, why was he acting so extra out of character? Also, I love the actor. That guy whose name has now left me again. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. I will be honest though, and it's straight away you were like, sword. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, we went to the cinema with another friend of ours who was great, by the way. Rob, you were an awesome cinema guest. Kept us both laughing afterwards. But you said sword, and he's like, what? I was like, shield for outside the planet.
Yeah,
I guess.
It's so what they do is the two Skrulls are calling Nick Fury, and Nick Fury is revealed to be at a beach, and then it moves further out, and the beach kind of dissolves away, and then it turns out that he's on a space station
I guess,
with Skrulls and stuff like that. So the thing that I enjoyed about that part more was it finished, and then no one said anything, and then I went, it's sword.
Yeah,
and
I just kind of went, yeah, and Rob went, what?
SWORD stands for Sentient World Observation Logistics Department. I don't know. I'm not. That's not even right. There's no L in there.
I know the Sentient World part is right. I do know that because that's the only thing I remember.
So it's Sentient World Observation Recon Division or something like that.
Do you know what it is? It's this.
Yeah.
How long will the words be? Somewhere there.
Yeah, which I liked because, she said Rob was just like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then I introduced Hammer as well, which no one knows what that acronym stands for.
It's a good point. Importantly, though, I think, and we're going to release a video next, this coming Thursday, so check it out. We're going to be talking about movie franchises that have maybe run their course, gone far enough, or maybe should take a break for a while.
Like in our franchise film, we talk about Marvel a little bit, and you can see us on Thursday at 8 p.m. GMT.
Yeah. Enjoy it. So to wrap this one up, I'm going to say, if you've watched this and you actually haven't seen Spider-Man Far From Home, see it. Jake Gyllenhaal, if you're watching this, thanks, dude. Just thanks.
Yeah, very good.
It's a real shame you had to die, or did you? And I think everybody in the whole cinema was going, so the illusionist guy right now, the guy that's everything's been fake, he's dead, is he? Laser dead. So check out our other videos, like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. Insert spider pun here for hitting the notification bell. Thwack the notification bell. And we'll see you next time. I've been Patrick.
And I've been Paul.
And we're Here's Out. Bye-bye.